Greetings and welcome to Monster Legends for another special feeding episode. This time we're going to be feeding a fella who was the center of a recent event. I got cells for him then. I got cells for my team. And this is Hornet. Hornet is a legendary. Hornet is thunder. Hornet has wings. Hornet is mechanical. Hornet has personality issues. And he's part of a temporary Halloween book. Hornet also has lots of open ruin slots, so I like him already. As I understand, he's a very fast kind of support debuff, but he can also do kind of damage too. We'll have to see how good he is, because I hear he's very good. So let's find a home for him here. Let him hang out with the leprechaun for a while. Okay, that looked like a lot of fun for him. Alright, so where is he here? This is Mama Rank. Oh, what is it with these names? What is it with these names? We'll find a good name for him. Alright, so this is Hornet. He is a legendary. He is thunder. He appears to have an evolving trait. So let's take a look at it. He starts hardened, which means he has a 20% chance to resist negative status effects. At rank 1, he stays hardened and he gets... Oh my goodness, I see something here. Okay, get out of my way. I want to see this one. Get that out of my face. Okay, dodge area effects. Oh wow, that is... Yeah, that's pretty compelling for raising him up there, isn't it? Alright, but if you get him to rank 3, he also gets anticipation, which means if somebody executes an enemy, I should say, executes an attack with an extra turn, he's going to go right after that before the extra turn takes place. Very, very useful indeed. Yeah, that rank 1, that is very compelling. I'm going to have to use some Elementium for that, because I think I'm going to have to do it. Alright, so already I like him. So let's take a look at his stats. His strength is very good. His life is surprisingly only above the old margin for normal. In the old days, this would be above normal. Normal would be about 150. But these days, they've been giving him a lot of health, so I guess he's kind of a glass cannon type of a thing, depending on the cannon part, right? Anyway, his speed is really good, so he's going to be very, very fast, and that's what we've been told. He's a very fast debuffer, supporter, damager type of thing. Let's just throw it all together and figure out what we're going to get. All right, let's look at his initial skills. We have Reliable Metal, removes 10% of total life from one enemy. That is a very interesting place to start. Okay, and then we have Too Fast for You, removes 15% of total life from one enemy. Wow, okay. I guess we know what he's going to be doing, right? Alright, and of course his special skill, Handita. Okay, I'm guessing that has some meaning. Removes 50% of total life from all enemies. Applies nanovirus and shock to all enemies. Okay, that one is kind of ugly. Especially if it's later in the battle and they're hurt already, so boom, they could just all just die. But that's okay for our enemies. It's okay if they die. Alright, so let's start feeding him and see what we're going to do with all these skills he's got, right? Alright, let's get him up to level 4 for his final form. There he is. He floats now. They all float around here. Well, he does. Well, he's got wings, so, you know, he's a hornet. So, alright, let's get to the skills. They start at level 7. 4 in line. Applies shock twice to one enemy. Applies nanovirus twice to one enemy. He starts with that? Okay, so obviously the reason you would try to apply twice is that the first one might be resisted. If you're going to ensure, I shouldn't say ensure, give a much better chance of applying an effect, you do it twice. That's actually the first time I've ever seen it done with torture effects, so that makes him kind of unique. I mean, if you give me a group version of that, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Alright, so let's continue to level 10. The 6K barrier removes 20% of total life from one enemy, applies blind twice to one enemy. Okay, we're going to be doing a lot of life taking, but that's okay. As long as it's their life and not like my team's. I don't want to see Removes 50% of life from my own team just to do something. No, I don't like that at all. Do it to the bad guys on the other side, right? All right, let's get to 15 for some more skills. Revised and lubricated. Removes positive status effects from self. Removes all negative status effects from self. Gives 1 extra turn. Oh, wow, that's kind of interesting. I'm just going to throw that at the end there. Might end up keeping that because it just looks so useful. You purge all effects from yourself and then you get an extra turn. That could be, depending on the rest of the skills, that could be really good. So you never know. We might end up keeping that. All right, let's get to level 20. More skills. Anti-brutish system. Removes all negative status effects from all allies. Applies immunity to control and torture. I have a very good idea that I'm going to be keeping that. That is all kinds of awesome right there. Yeah, that one. That is an awesome support skill. You remove all negative status effects, make them immune to control and torture effects. Does anyone else ever do that? I know that some do one or the other, but I mean all three in one. That's amazing right there. All right, already, am I locked up here? I don't know. We're going to have to see. All right, so far, I'm liking these skills. So let's go to level 25. Super Light ER6N. Removes 40% of total life from one enemy. Applies minor blind and shock to all enemies. Okay, well, for the moment, I can put that up there. All right, so he takes the life from one individual and gives something to everybody else. All right, minor blind and shock. All right, that's okay, but you never know. We might get better, right? So let's see if we do. At level 30, maybe? Smoked Helmet. Removes 20% total life from one enemy. Applies major damage reduction and blind to all enemies. Is that just automatically an upgrade of that one? I mean, minor blind and shock, but that one does more damage. Ooh, that's... You know what? I'll put that one there for now. I mean, I don't think you can keep both of them. I guess it really depends on what else is coming, right? Alright, so let's continue. I can see picking skills is going to be a problem, isn't it? Satu Hati. Removes all negative status effects from all allies. Applies positive status effect protection. Yeah, I think I'm going to skip that one. Yeah, I think I'm going to skip that one. Yep. Not just 4-round cooldown for that. I wouldn't switch anything I currently have out for that. Most especially this. You know, I mean, it's kind of like this or this, and this one is just amazing. So I think we're going to skip that. I hope we're not going to see too much of that. All right, we should have 2 more. So let's see. Maybe more. I don't know. Maybe I lost count. Blind Corners. Removes 30% of total life from one enemy. Applies total blind and guard down to all enemies. Which one do I take out? I'm going to take this one out for the moment because this one does do more damage. All right, I'm going to put this one in. But I'm keeping that one. Total blind and guard down. That's really, really good. In other words, we can't miss you. You can't hit us. Unless, of course, we get guard down, right? All right, so let's see what the final skill is. Is it the final one? I guess we're going to have to find out. Smoked Helmet. We saw that one already. It's good, but we got a lot of really good skills here. And DP26 Syndrome. Removes 30% of total life from one enemy. Removes positive status effects from all enemies. Applies nanovirus. Okay, this was the one we just... I think I have to take that one. I mean, it removes positive status effects. It does the 30% and then removes positive status effects. I mean, the shock is pretty good, but nanovirus, you're taking the positive status effects off, and then you're making it so they can't put them back on by giving them nanovirus, right? And this one is minor blind, but yeah, removing positive status effects can be so very useful, right? So, I mean, I got to take that one. All right, and I do think that that is it. We're going to have to go back and look at these skills and figure out what we're going to do because, oh man, there are a lot of good ones there, and they do some really useful stuff. All right, so let's just get to 60, and then we'll go back and look at the skills. Smoked Helmet. Blind, yeah, we got the total blind going there, you know? And the guard down, yeah, I mean, that one there is good because, you know, total blind only does last for 1 turn, but, you know, they have guard down, but so who knows what we could do them in the meantime, right? All right, so let's continue to level 60 and this one again. All right, let's going to make sure of what we got here. All right, first of all, look what we have on this side here. We have DP26. Okay, that one is the nanovirus and remove positive status effects. This one is the total blind and guard down, right? All right, now this one is the big support one. Removes negative status effects from his side, right? And the control and torture effects immunity. Both of them are amazing. Do I need this one? He can remove negative status effects here, right? And make himself immune to the big ones. The question is, do I need the extra turn? Or do I want to put something else in there? Right? All right, let's look at this. 2-round cooldown, 3-round cooldown, 2-round cooldown. Does he need the extra turn? Well, you know what? Let's look through the skills and see something as like, I really want this, right? Now, this one I don't want. You know, it's okay, but, you know, I don't want it, especially with the cooldown. I mean, if it was a 2-round cooldown, even then, positive status effects protection, I can understand. Maybe you want to protect all of this. Maybe so, but I mean, I can't see dedicating a skill to that. Okay, this is the major damage reduction and blind. We'll think about that for a minute. All right, this one is 40% life, which is pretty darn good, actually, here. And this is a 2-round cooldown. Minor blind and shock. All right, so this is going to put the torture effect shock on, but it is going to take 40% life. That's the biggest one of the removals that he does. All right, and we're down to this one. Yeah, if we get a group version of that, that would have been really kind of cool right there. I mean, if I have a bunch of 2-round cooldowns, do I need the extra turn? I mean, I'm already getting rid of negative status effects up here and protecting myself from, you know, control and torture. So do I need this one? I mean, this one, oh, hold on a minute. This one's also going to remove positive status effects. So if he gave himself, you know what, I'm going to take this one. That's what I'm going to do. Because it's going to remove his protection from torture and control if he does that one, you know? All right, I think I'm good to go. All right, let's look at his stats. His strength isn't terrific, but let's face it, it is meaningless. All of the damage that he does is a percentage of the health of the target. So, and also torture effects. So strength is utterly meaningless. Actually, the life turned out to be a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So, I mean, it's not bad. It's just not on the high end of what we've been seeing, right? Now, the speed. The speed is a hair short of 2,300. This is one of the fastest, if not the fastest, monsters I've seen in the game. You could kind of use this one as a preventative denial. What I mean by that is have this go first and then do the protection from control and torture effects. Which means if you have somebody on the other side is just going to try to do stun, try to do freeze, or possession, it's not going to work. It's not going to protect you from taking your stamina away or the cooldown activation. So, I mean, it really depends on who's on the other side there, right? But that could be very useful. Very, very interesting. Very fast, too. That way you could get all of those skills going down really quickly, too. Very interesting. Just out of curiosity, what relics do we have over here? Banner. That's just what I was looking for. You get all those attacks out really fast and then regenerate the stamina from it and regenerate your team stamina. Oh, let me go back in there again. I didn't mean to exit. All right, so that's very useful. Yeah, altogether, just amazing. All right, let's just go over the skills and see what I chose in the end. All right, so let's start with this one. DP26 Syndrome. Removes 30% of total life from one enemy, removes positive status effects from all enemies, applies nanovirus to all enemies. So let's first talk about the removal of total life. Everything he does removes total life from the target. It means their maximum life. So if they're at half health, it's still going to take 30% of their total life, which means they're not going to have a lot left after that. So that is actually useful. It doesn't matter what the strength is. The strength isn't going to do anything about that. So obviously, you're not putting strength on Hornet. No way. Removing positive status effects from all enemies is really useful because it gets rid of all those pesky taunts and mega taunts, assuming that it isn't part of the trait, right? That is actually in the trait and not cast by the trait. Know what I mean? Also, shielding, regeneration, protections, all those kinds of things, poof, they're gone. Unless they come from the relics. And applies nanovirus to all enemies. Nanovirus is a torture effect that blocks the individual from getting some positive status effects. So that is a really nice little package of death. Alright, so let's look at this one now. Blind Corners. Removes 30% of total life from one enemy. Applies total blind and guard down to all enemies. Alright, so this is, of course, going to take 30% of life on whoever the individual is hit. It is also going to apply total blind. Total blind means that anyone who has it is going to miss. There's only one exception to this, and that is guard down. If the target has guard down, even if the attacker has total blind, it's not going to miss. Guard down means that if someone tries to attack you and you have guard down, they're going to hit. If there's a skill used against you that has only a percentage of using an effect, that effect is going to hit. So that's kind of useful. If you have somebody, they have a 50% chance to stun, right? If the target has guard down, they're going to get stunned. Unless, of course, they're immune to it or resist it or something like that. But I don't think they can resist it at that point. Actually, I think guard down removes resistance as well. Unless, of course, as I said, they're immune to it for one reason or another. So this is very good. It means that the other team is going to miss and your team is not going to miss. So that's a really nice combo. And of course, somebody is getting hit for 30% of their total life. All right, and then we have this one. Anti-Brutish System. Removes all negative status effects from all allies. Applies immunity to control and tortures to all allies. So if you have bad stuff on, it's going to take it off. And more importantly, it's going to make the team immune to control, which means stun, freeze, timeout, and possession, all those kinds of things. And I think the new baby effect that comes with Kronks as well. And then, of course, we're also going to be immune to torture effects as well, which means burning and nanovirus and curse. So it will actually remove those because it's going to remove the negative status effects and then make your guy. This is a really good support skill. And the fact that it's a 2-round cooldown is amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, and then we have the final one. Now, there was another skill that I took out that was extra turny. I just don't think it's necessary because the cooldowns for this character are not really a problem. And besides, because he's going to apply this, I don't want the extra turn one because the extra turn one will remove this, right? So then we have this one. This is the one I chose instead. Super Light ER6N. Removes 40% of total life from one enemy, applies minor blind and shock to all enemies. So the big thing here is this is the single biggest life removal that he does. It's also going to put shock on. Shock is a torture effect. It will prevent whoever has it from doing something extra turny. So they just won't be able to get the extra turn if they use the skill. Minor blind means that there'll be a reduction in the chance of them actually hitting. It's not as good as obviously total blind, not as good as full blind, but you know what? Every little bit helps. It only lasts for one turn. It's a good throw-in, right? You're doing a lot of damage to one individual, no matter how much health they have, and you're also going to give shock to the entire enemy group. All right, this guy is really good, and I got to tell you, I'm thinking I'm going to be ranking him up. I don't have the thunder to do it. I might have to reach into my Elementium store, but you know what? I really think he is worth it. And then, of course, we have runes. All right, I have one word for runes in regards to this individual. Speed. You're taking away from the character if you put anything other than speed on. And I don't mean team speed either. You have to put real speed on. Because with that starting speed, he's going to be grease lightning. Get it? Lightning. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for now. Yeah, he is definitely going to be in the next testing video with Hook Kawaii and Lum, and I think that's going to be pretty soon. Tomorrow is the normal Monster Legends episode, so it won't be tomorrow. Might very well be the day after that. So we're going to have to see, and I can't wait to level him up, and I'm so happy that this guy showed up with lots of open ruin slots. It makes it a lot easier for me. Anyway, thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it, and play games, because games are fun. See you.